they started shutting down all these places, and they shut down Florida. And next thing I know, I was getting a text at 3 o'clock in the morning. It's like, can you wrestle tomorrow? I'm like, you got to be here at 12 o'clock. I'm like, what do you mean wrestle? What's going on? I get there, and then the whole set is there. I'm like, what the hell is going on here?
I'm Will, and I love wrestling. I also love the city of Atlanta. I've never actually been, but I've seen every episode of the FX series, and I know WCW like the back of my hand, and I saw the 2006 film ATL with T.I., so I'm basically kind of like an expert on it. Not as much as today's guest, though. He's Baron Black, and he comes to you straight out of Atlanta, Georgia, and he comes to this show straight off of your AEW TV screen. Baron Black is a man who has seized opportunity in our world's most difficult times, and if you ask him, and I did, he's just getting started. And if you like this conversation and want to hear more, be sure to hit like and subscribe down below, because Wrestling with Will has so much more on the way. But for now, enjoy. And please welcome my guest. He is fresh off of a crazy good bout with Rey Fenix on Dark this past week, and you know him from his appearances on Dark as well. He is the Imp-Bruh, the head technician in charge, Mr. Baron Black.
Damn, I like that introduction. That was a dope introduction. He made sure he hit every moniker.
Hey,
every moniker.
I had to. You know, what's funny is, I personally hadn't been, not gonna lie, I hadn't been all that familiar with your work until about a year and some change ago. It was the Sean Spears search for partner.
Search for Spears.
Yeah, the search for Spears, right? And you had cut this crazy good promo, and honestly, to me, like head and shoulders above like everybody else we had seen. Like we had seen some cool stuff, but then all of a sudden you came out just swinging, and I was like, I need to get to know more about this dude. And there he is, it's Baron Black.
Yeah, that's funny you talk about that, because that's what, stirred up the whole change in what I was doing with that Search for Spears promo.
Mm-hmm.
And the funny thing about it, I wasn't going to do it. I wasn't going to do it, but I was like, okay, well, I'll do it, whatever. Because I had got word that it was legit. It wasn't like some storyline they was running just to get fans to interact. No, it was legit.
Right.
Like, if you wanted to be his partner, cut a promo. I was like, okay. I already knew I was probably going to kill it, good. But I was like, because that's what I do. I'm a big promo guy, even though I preach the technical aspects of professional wrestling. I like both. I like both equally. So I'm really big on promo guy. That's what I did a lot when I first started training, and then I got into the technical aspect of it, fell in love with it. Always loved it as a kid growing up watching it too. So, yeah, when I did that, I was like, what's the worst that could happen? People gonna like it and they gonna last. Yeah, that's it. But it turned into a whole bunch of other stuff I was not expecting.
Yeah, got the wheels in motion. And it's one of two things always gets people talking when it comes to you. It's either a promo you drop, or in this case, just this past week, you had the match with Rey Fenix. Have you been reading a lot of the feedback on that?
Yeah. This is one thing I think everybody's gonna learn today. I didn't mean to throw my phrase in there like that, but I read everything. I might not respond to it, but I read everything and I see everything. And I've seen the response to this match. It's kind of took me back a little bit, because I was I'm the biggest critic of my own work, so I knew the match was pretty good. I just didn't, doubting myself and, being critical of myself. I didn't think the reception was going to be like it was now. I mean, people are still talking about it today.
Yeah,
I'm still reading about it. So I was like, I'm glad everybody liked it. I'm glad they appreciate the work and hard work I put in.
Yeah, I was reading 411 Mania's review of Dark, and they called it the, quote, potential breakout performance for Baron Black.
Yeah. I guess that is going to be the one. You know what I mean? I got in there with probably one of the probably definitely one of the best wrestlers in the world, Rey Fenix. And they told me he was going to have a match, and I knew I had to bring it. That was going to be my time to bring it at that point in time. So I was like, let's take it up to the next level.
I love
Let's
it.
do it. Yeah.
Now, that said, you're entering your 10th year in the business, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah, you wrestled pretty much all around Georgia for the last 10 years.
I've been. Yeah. Go ahead.
No, so I was just going to ask, pretty much how did all of that get started? What got you into the business?
Uh, Failure. Failure got me into wrestling. That's just the honest truth right there. And I think the reason I say that, I want people to really take note of what I'm saying. So if they're going through something in their life this point in time, it's the same thing I went through. I tried many different jobs. I know I got right out of high school, went straight into trade school, became an apprentice to be an electrician. I was a wrestling fan all my life. I was still watching wrestling throughout all my school years. Even when I got into trade school, I was still watching wrestling. Me and my friends. We was just these. I guess I was a mark back then. Yeah, I was just a mark back then. You know what I mean? I had all the games. I had the championships. I was just a big adult kid about wrestling. And then I tried many career fields and just failed at them. And then one day I just, I had the money and I was like, I'm gonna just try it. Why not? You know what I mean? I'm gonna just try it out. I'm gonna go to this school. I'm gonna try it out. And then that's what happened. Once I tried it out, I was like, yeah, I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do this. The first day sucked. It sucked ass. The first day I ever stepped in the ring, it sucked ass. I was like, I don't know if I can do it, but I was like, I dropped all this money. I ain't wasting my damn money. So I stayed with it, and that turned it to where I am now. So
And I know about that first day because I will tell you that in my life, I have literally taken one bump. And I was like, nope, this ain't for me. I said, like, whoa, there's no, like, give here. This just feels. This don't feel anything like I imagined it when I was like pretending on my trampoline all these years. And
no, that's the rude awakening when you first take that first bump and when you hit those damn ropes and you realize that, yo, this ain't what I thought it was. It ain't bouncy. This thing, when you bump, it's giving you something. I was like, damn. I was like, it's too late now. I paid my money. I'm sticking to it.
well, though it's a good lesson though, right? In that, you know, failure isn't the end.
Yeah.
In that, a lot of times you can fail upward, and you can end up getting to do exactly what it is you want to do, and here you are. And the thing is, you kept going because, like I said, you wrestled all around Georgia for many years. You at least as long as cage matches count is correct, you started 2012.
All right. It was a little bit before 2012.
Okay.
It's because 2010 2011 when I first had my first professional match um, on an independent circuit. The school I used to attend in Atlanta, we used to do practice shows for training for the students.
Okay.
So you can't really count those. We got people to come in free, and it was just repetitions for us to get reps to get ready to go out on the circuit. So, but the shows I was doing first were small independent shows in Georgia that don't exist anymore today. So it would be hard to kind of track all that in cage match and stuff. But yeah, from that point on, they got almost everything active on cage match from that 2012. But before then, it was all Georgia stuff. It was all just small Georgia, Alabama, Florida stuff that, independent promotions that don't exist anymore. So, yeah.
So how'd you end up with the Power Factory, or what's now known as the Nightmare Factory?
The Nightmare Factory. Um, it's funny. I was kind of in a period where I was trying to figure out what was next for me. Um, I didn't know which way to go. I've been traveling on an independent circuit. I wrestled in the Midwest, West wrestled up north, for places like Beyond. Worked for FIP in Florida, places like that. But I wasn't really getting, much traction at these places. They gave me grateful for the opportunities they gave me, but I just wasn't getting traction to where I was consistently being used. So I was just like, I don't know what to try now. You know what I mean? And then QT Marshall came and opened the Power Factory. And I was one of the first people there when he first opened it. You know what I mean? Because I'm always open to continuing to learn and continuing to help my craft and hone it and get it better. All that good stuff there. You know what I mean? So I showed up there and we became cool. And I just been coming to his classes. You know what I mean? And we kind of fed off each other because I was already a few years in. You know what I mean? I was like my ninth year. He's been, I think he was year 15 at that point. So, you know what I mean? It just kept evolving. The school kept getting bigger. He worked his ass off, got a lot of opportunities, and it turned into a nightmare factory. It was just something really unprecedented. So that's how it started. It was just like I was like in a stagnant place in my career, and I was like, I don't know really where to go next. So that's how that happened with that. And it was a good choice.
Yeah, it was,
In
especially considering
retrospect.
where it is now, and
Yeah.
I can't imagine that um, everybody involved with the Nightmare Factory could have seen that by 2020, you know, it's kind of a well-known name in the wrestling business now, just among fans.
Yeah.
Everybody knows what it is now because of AEW.
Yeah. It's wild. This last year has been wild. I would it's just wild to think about, And when AEW first started, and I think QT started inquiring about working with him, I never thought it would turn into this. You know what I mean? I never thought it would turn into this. And then I did that promo. Then next thing I know, I'm wrestling Spears on
He
Dynamite.
wrestled
So
Spears.
it was a it's just insane how stuff can change drastically, and that's the lesson here for everybody watching, is that even though you in the mud right now, if you keep going, you never know what's on the other side or the end of the light of the tunnel. You know what I mean?
And this is almost the perfect time to mention something like that because your break, as far as AEW is concerned, really has come in the midst of a pandemic, which for a
Yeah,
lot of people, has been. A lot of people have seen it as kind of like the end of the road, but in this case, it was almost the beginning, and you got to work. They did those. It's well known now that Tony's talked about it, but that big set of tapings at Norcross at the Nightmare Factory.
yeah, it was
Um,
Atlanta. Yeah,
yeah.
Norcross is just Atlanta. It's the
Okay.
same. Yeah, same thing. It's just a suburb of Atlanta.
Yeah.
So yeah,
So
right.
they
Yeah,
had they did that big 5 episode taping there,
yeah,
and you had your match with Spears, and I remember seeing you, and I thought,
yeah,
oh, it's Baron Black, the search for Spears, like he's got the belt on
yeah,
him.
yeah. That situation, it was wild. The pandemic, we all know how that hurt everybody. And when that happened, the biggest weekend in independent wrestling that it is was canceled, which is Mania weekend. So
Yeah,
everybody was kind of like down because I had a couple of nice things lined up that weekend, and then it was gone. So now we can't wrestle, we can't go outside. Nobody knows what's next, you know what I mean? And then they started shutting down all these places, and they shut down Florida. And next thing I know, I was getting a text at 3 o'clock in the morning. It's like, can you wrestle tomorrow? I'm like, you got to be here at 12 o'clock. I'm like, what do you mean wrestle? What's going on? I get there, and then the whole set is there. I'm like, what the hell is going on here? So when I got a text, they didn't even really tell me what I was doing. They just told me to show up. So when I got there, it was like really surprised me with it. I was like, oh my god. So yeah, we taped a lot of TV that day. It was a lot because Georgia was shutting down for weeks and all that, so we had to tape a lot. And I know Tony like really takes pride in that. None of that stuff got leaked, and he was working with a lot of new guys like myself, Lee Johnson, Alan Angels, guys who are now staples there now. That was really our first time really working that much with them. So I know he takes a lot of pride in that stuff never being leaked, which shows that we can keep we can keep secrets around here. So
I honestly love that though. I love it when um, a week can go by and all of a sudden it's Wednesday and I'm like, nothing from AEW leaked this week. Like, we're good. I honestly like. I look forward to that. When it happens, I'm almost bummed. I'm like, man, I it gets me down because like I
yeah,
love that you guys almost have that pride in what you guys are doing and that pride in the product, and so um, there just seems to be this uh, universal want to make sure that it succeeds, and in that sense, keeping things packed and tight uh,
hmm
seems to be the mantra.
yeah. That's the only way to do it. Especially what we're dealing with right now with the COVID-19 stuff. We want everybody to be excited to watch, and I like to see people excited when they watch stuff. I like to read the
Yeah.
reactions on Twitter and on Facebook and stuff. So that's what we like about that. I like that aspect of it.
So you've thus far. So after all of that, you eventually came in and started working the Jacksonville tapings,
Yeah.
and by my count, you've had about 16 matches, I believe, so far.
I kind of lost count myself.
Yeah. Not that I was expecting you
Yeah.
to. I was gonna
You
say
know,
that. So
but somewhere around there. Yeah.
yep, you've worked basically a mixture of tag matches. You've worked singles. Um, am I correct in guessing that your favorite single so far has probably been Rey Fenix?
Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. That's definitely my favorite match as of right now.
uh,
You know what I mean? We really went in on that match. So it's definitely my favorite. My favorite match, yes.
what about favorite tag partner?
Favorite tag? Man, I had a lot of tag partners, man. Oh man. Probably Nick Camrado.
Okay. Yeah. I mean,
Yeah,
he
yeah.
honestly he
That's
got
probably
people
my
talking
favorite tag partner.
very quickly. Right after his Dynamite debut, it was
Yeah.
like all of a sudden he was just on, and then everybody's talking about him, and they're like, "Well, where's this guy been all our lives?" And like, so
Yeah.
um,
It goes to show that a lot of talent uh kind of gets looked over. You
mhm.
know what I mean? It just really depends on where you're at, on the right moment, the right time. So, yeah, I see that. It's people say that about me. Well, where did he come from, or where did Nick Corrado come from, or where did Lee Johnson come from, or where did Alan Angels come from, where did Preston Vance come from? It's like the talent is out there. It's talent. Sometimes just takes a while to get the exposure that they need. So,
And that's one of those things that I feel like this last year has really been for so many guys that,
yeah,
uh, the fact that a year ago, had you mentioned most of those names, I think, the
yeah,
national audience might have gone, who? But,
yeah,
it's amazing that just this last year has put so many of those names, like the fact that all of those names, I would say, are well known among wrestling fans now, among, just across the board.
yeah.
And yeah, the pandemic in so many ways provided so many opportunities for guys.
It
And
did, and I'm gonna give you the exclusive right now. Let me
okay,
give you the exclusive right now.
I'm excited.
If it wasn't for that pandemic, I don't know if I would still be wrestling right now. Yeah,
Wow.
that's how I
That's
felt at the beginning of 2019 because I was like, man, I don't know, but the pandemic really re-energized me from the opportunity that I got. So I don't even know where I would be if COVID never happened.
mm.
So if COVID never happened, I don't know where I would be in wrestling right now or in wrestling period at all. So that says a lot, and it sucks to say that because it's such a devastating moment in the history of
It
our
it is.
country. You know what I mean? It's like it's kind of crazy. You got to count your blessings and stuff. It's like I got blessed in the middle of tragedy and sadness. So it's like it's kind of crazy to think about that.
It is. But, honestly, the opportunity came, you guys took it, and I am just in awe of how much has come out of it. Like I am. Like honestly, I was thinking about that. I did an appearance on the Distraction podcast with Fightful, and we did a whole rundown of all of the talent that has debuted in AEW since the pandemic, and we did like a
Mm-hmm.
just and one I was amazed at the amount
Yeah,
and because it was like
yeah,
I looked up and I thought I think there's been more wrestlers that have debuted since the pandemic than were almost like originally signed. And then, like because when because I had pitched that idea. This is a funny story. I had pitched the idea to Fightful to do that episode, and I think they were like, yeah, it'll probably take about 15, 20 minutes to talk about. And I thought that's how long it was going to take too, until I realized how long the list had gone. And I thought, and then we look up and I'm like, I'm sorry, man. I didn't know that was going to be like an hour long segment when I pitched it.
yeah.
But
It was a lot of people,
mm-hmm,
and I'm grateful that the higher ups at AEW was able to do that for a lot of independent wrestlers
mm-hmm.
because there was really nowhere to work after COVID just devastated everything, and they just kept bringing people in, and then people ended up getting jobs out of that situation too. So it's like they really did. They really helped out a lot of independent wrestlers. Like we said, that list was long. It was not small at all.
Yeah.
It was a lot of people that come through there and continue to come through there. So it is. I'm very grateful for what they have done, man. They really have created a paradigm shift in wrestling.
Yeah. Yes, they have. Uh, so, a tad bit off the topic of wrestling. Little inside baseball here. Right before this conversation started, the first thing you had noticed was that I had the arcade behind me. And you were right on it. You're like, is that Mortal Kombat? And you were like, 1 or 2, which now it's currently running 3, but usually I have it running whatever just for backdrop
Yes.
purposes. But you are a gamer. You game quite a bit.
Sure.
And I think one of the things that people that know me know and people that know you know, but don't know that we have in common is that Xbox is our go-to. Like I am very much an Xbox dude. I have been since day one. I got literally November 15th, 2001 was when I got my launch Xbox. I got Halo at launch, and that has just been my go-to brand. And you are as well. You're an Xbox guy, but like you can get into it with like PlayStation dudes. Like the thing that bugs me about them is that like it's not
Here we go. Go ahead.
because you know what I'm about to say, right? Like it ain't
Yeah,
like
go ahead.
it's not like the again. I respect the PlayStation. I respect what it's done for the industry. I respect all the games they got. But you know what's funny to me is that you can't post about the Xbox without somebody jumping in your comments about like nobody like are you not happy with your console?
Oh man. Look, man, look. This is the funny part because I have a gaming channel
Mm-hmm.
that have unfortunately been neglecting because I've been so busy with wrestling. And a lot of people on the internet know me as the gamer, and a lot of them knew me as the wrestler. Then when I started getting my opportunities, and the wrestling fans see me as the wrestler, and they're like, "Oh, you a gamer too." So it's kind of funny when the two meet each other, and they're like, "I didn't know you did this. I didn't know you did this." So it's like, yeah, I'm a huge gamer, man. Like I've always been a huge Nintendo fan. I'm a mark for Nintendo. You know what I mean? That's really my go-to. But thing is, I play everything. And I seen you stealth liking my Xbox stuff. I see you stealth liking my stuff on Twitter. Don't think I don't notice stuff like that. I notice stuff like that. So every once in a while I'll troll PlayStation fans. I'll say something not wrong. That'd be true. It'd be true, but it gets them all in their panties and a bunch of stuff. It'd be hilarious to think. But yeah, like right now, it's like I'm kind of leaning toward an Xbox Series X. I don't want a PS5.
Mm-hmm.
If I tweet that right now, it'd be a whole shitstorm on my timeline. You know what I mean? So it's just like I don't know why these PlayStation fans are so ass hurt. I don't know what they so ass hurt about. They're like the most they so sensitive about their brand. It's ridiculous, and it's kind of funny how gaming has turned into literally like sports fandom. Mm-hmm. Like you have to be loyal to this brand or that brand or the Nintendo brand, Xbox brand, or the PlayStation brand. It's like it's just enjoy the games, you know what I mean? And it's like it is what it is. And but yeah, I definitely Nintendo and Microsoft with the Xbox is definitely my preference. And I have a lot of people that can't stand it. I say that, so they always try to come at me, and I troll them. I troll them all the time, man. They fall right into it. It's just it'd be hilarious to watch, So I've been seeing you stuff like
I mean, because I agree. Like, here's the thing. Like, I have nothing against PlayStation. I really don't. As a matter of fact, I've been like, I have like notifications turned on for that Wario 64 account, just like waiting for it to say like, like,
oh man,
just waiting for it to say like PS5's on sale. Cause like I got a Series X and like, I love it, but like but the weird thing is like the second I post something like, hey, I like all I have to say is I like my Xbox, and somebody's going to comment, well, the PS5's better. And I'm like, I didn't say nothing about the PS5. I didn't say nothing about PlayStation.
I don't know what it is. They're kind of like a lost soul. You know what I mean? That's what PlayStation fans are. They're lost souls. Like one of the main things I always speak about, people always ask me about the Switch, what to get on Switch. I was like, well, you need to get the game of the generation, Breath of the Wild. Mm-hmm. Anytime I say that on Twitter, they just, God of War, God of War. Like, look, bro, stop it.
I'm gonna slightly disagree though, because I thought for me it's Mario Odyssey. I thought Odyssey is like,
oh, we gonna go on this route. I done had this debate so many times about Mario Odyssey and Breath of the Wild versus each other. Mm-hmm. I like them both.
Okay,
trust me.
The same. I do like them both.
They're probably two of the top 3 games this generation is Mario Odyssey and Breath of the Wild. So, but Breath of the Wild just basically changed the whole dynamic of how people approach even making their games. You know what I mean? And the greater freedom you get and the manipulation of the world and the physics is just bar none. You get anywhere. People are still making highlight videos of Breath of the Wild, and the game came out in 2017. So that should tell you the impact that it has. You know what I mean? We just had what was it? Ubisoft just make a whole ripoff of Breath of the Wild. I think it was called Phoenix Rising or something that came out in December. I was like, Immortals. That's what it was called. That was the name of it. Mm-hmm. The game was called Immortals. So I was like, man, look, you could take your God of War and y'all have fun with that. I'd rather have more, innovative type of gameplay person. See, me, people like more cinematic stuff now these days. I'm still true to the gameplay aspect. I mean, you can give me all the pretty pictures you want, but if I only walk around and press the X button every 2 seconds, that's not doing nothing for me. I need some innovation. I need something that's going to challenge me. I need some puzzles. I need some good platforming. I need good combat. That's what I need. That's why I can't wait for Bayonetta 3 to come out. I've been preaching that all year. So I hope people at Nintendo is watching this because I'm tired of asking for my game. I'm tired of asking when I need it.
Yeah, man, it's it's funny you said that because, and again, this ain't the start of PlayStation War, but what I am gonna say is that, the PS4 this past generation, I feel like had, just A+ title after A+ title. They had a ton of them, but I will say that it feels like Sony games outside of Spider-Man don't have staying power. And I say that because you mentioned Breath of the Wild and the fact that it's 2017, we're still seeing highlight videos of. That's true. And obviously, like Nintendo games, too. Nintendo is at the point of where they release a AAA title, and here we are 4 or 5 years later, still $60 because that's the staying power a Nintendo title has. Whereas, Sony has like Detroit came out, right? They got rave reviews. Nobody was talking about it after a month.
Oh, okay, keep going.
But you know what I mean? Like, big AAA title will come out, and then it's like, I feel like Ghost of Tsushima had a little bit, but even like Last of Us, it's not a game people are talking about right now. They come and they go. And
it is what it is. Like, and PlayStation fans get on me when I say this to them, but this is what I carry. This is the category I put Sony in their games in. They're interactive movies. That's what they are.
Yeah.
You play them once and that's it. You're done. There's nothing else to do. That's it. That's why people don't talk about them anymore.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? You play it once, you get your little interactive movie experience, you get your flash, you get your bang bang, and your pretty pictures, and you're done. That's it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? This is the reason why. I think the Switch was still the best-selling console over the holiday.
Yep.
And two new systems came out. And one of the three of the top best-selling games on the system were Mario Kart 8, Breath of the Wild, and Mario Odyssey.
It is crazy
all
that
those games came out years ago.
It's crazy that we are in a time right now where I mentioned the Wario 64 account, but they give updates on 3 consoles selling: PS5, Xbox Series X, and still the Switch. They're still like, hey, this place got Switches. I was in line at Micro Center just like yesterday buying the camera I'm filming with. But dude in front of me was like, do you guys have any Switches? And like, it's still that go-to console. So
it's still go-to. It's such convenient. I really believe what they created is really the future of gaming. To really have that console quality like experience, to take it with you wherever you go. It's very vital for somebody like me in the career field I'm in as a wrestler. This is why almost every wrestler you probably know has a Switch. If y'all didn't know, y'all should know now. Almost all of them have a fucking Switch. You know what I mean? Almost all of them have a Switch. So it's like, it's just more convenient for how people are today in the modern age. You just can't sit in the living room 24/7 anymore. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I love my Switch. And if whatever game comes out, I'm always gonna get him a Switch first. I don't care if it's on Xbox. So unless I can't get it on Switch, I'll get it on Xbox because I wanted to be able to take it with me wherever I go. So that's very vital for me. But yeah, they still hot. They're still selling like crazy.
Still hot. So the funny thing is you can kind of see that as far as anytime we get like a peak backstage, we can always see wrestlers with their games in some way, shape, or form. On BTE or where you were just recently on the Sammy Guevara vlog.
Yeah. Sammy Guevara vlog.
How was that?
It's good. It's good. It's good, man. It's a fun little vlog. It has a lot of good content in it. It's fun to create. You know what I mean? What Sammy has created with that is really fun. You know what I mean? It's really fun, and it gives a lot of guys an alternate to make other content. You know what I mean? So I like it a lot. I will be on it again. You'll see me again.
It's fun because AEW essentially has almost like 4 different active universes going in a way where, you have what's happening on Dynamite, but then you have what's happening on Dark, but then you have what's happening on BTE, but then like Sammy has his own like storylines going within his vlog. It's so like you have just all these active universes going with AEW.
Yeah, and that's a great thing about AEW that I love is that they don't suppress your creativity. Mm-hmm. You come there and you want to be creative in whatever vision you have, as long as it stays within the boundaries that are acceptable, like not doing something insane and over the top that will get you in trouble. So, you know what I mean? Let's all be, socially aware of what we're doing and stay into that boundary and be as creative as you want. And you see the outcome of it. I mean, the way Dark Order has evolved over BT over the last few months is just insane because that's all them. That's all their creativity. The way Sammy and Fuego del Sol and their interactions with Cody and Tony, that's their creativity. You know what I mean? And the thing is, it's great because as wrestlers, you should want them to show their creativity. You never know what can spark out of that. So I'm glad you brought that up because it is almost like three universes. The vibe on Dark is different than the vibe on Dynamite. You still get great quality action on Dark as you do on Dynamite, but the vibe is a little bit different. One thing people always point out is the commentary.
The commentary is so great. It's like its own podcast, man. It's like listening to a podcast on top of like watching wrestling. It's probably my highlight of the week. I love Taz and Excalibur and their guest on commentary. It's so good.
Yeah, Taz and Excalibur have created a crazy dynamic. Now that's one of the many things, multiple things that people tune in to watch on Dark now is to see them to commentate. And then of course you want to see the up and coming stars. And you want to see, the matchups and stuff like that. So it's all about they don't suppress your creativity. They let you be creative. You know what I mean? Anything that is absolutely, acceptable within the boundaries of, common sense, they give you free rein to be creative. So that's wonderful about them. I love that about them a
lot. I love it too. That's a big part of why I'm a fan. So as we're approaching the end here, I got a couple of the standard questions I want to ask, but I feel like I couldn't let this go without getting them out there. So, the dream opponent for you at this moment in time.
I did an interview recently. Mm-hmm. Not recently. Last interview I did was after the search was pierced, and I got the same question. And it hasn't happened yet, and understandably so. But dream opponent is the man that I was definitely a fan of growing up as a kid, as a teenager, and still as an adult. The man that I terrorized my cousins and my brothers and sisters with his submission hold every chance I got. And that is none other than the demo guy, Chris Jericho. That's the match I want. Mm-hmm. That's the match I want. Put it into the universe. That will be like that will probably be the highlight of my career if I get that match. You know what I mean? Hopefully Jericho continues to wrestle for many, many, many more years to come so I can get that to come to fruition. So that's the dream opponent for me. That will pop me. That will pop my friends because they knew how much of a mark I was for him with T-shirts and everything. Even on taking it back to gaming, I even won a SmackDown Here Comes the Pain tournament. Playing as Chris Jericho. Yeah, I always tell that story because everybody knows how overpowered Brock
and Triple H are the two.
Brock Lesnar, Goldberg, Triple H, and Kurt were overpowered in that game, and I won a whole tournament.
That's great.
That's how much a dedicated fan I was of his. I didn't play with nobody else. I played with Chris Jericho.
See, I would play as Cena, but then what I did was I went through career mode and like boosted Cena up to like 96 and then would take my memory card and that was it. I could play as him and nobody else. And so I get it. But yeah, Chris Jericho, man. Like I will wish that into the universe because it has felt like, especially at this stages of his career, it really does feel like he's been doing those matches with a lot of the up-and-coming guys. This past week he had Griff Garrison and Brian Pillman Jr., and he's had the match with Isaiah Cassidy. And, I feel like that is one that I would love to see.
Oh, I would love to see that. And the reason I would love to see that is not only to please the child that's deep inside in my heart, but man, if I get to get on the mic and battle Chris Jericho, boy. Whew. I don't think everybody's ready for that. I don't think everybody's ready for that.
Well, honestly, man, it has been a pleasure getting to talk to you here. And just so people know when we're recording this, you actually just put a shirt out on Pro Wrestling Tees.
Finally released one of my new shirts because I'm just terrible at doing what I'm supposed to do. So my new shirt is out. There will be more designs coming in the next couple of weeks, but go cop that shirt.
I'm doing it right now, by the way, literally in my cart. I'm going to screenshot this just so people know. Like, literally, I'm staring right at it in Pro Wrestling Tees.
Yeah, on Pro Wrestling Tees, / Emperor Baron Black. That's where you can get it at for everybody watching. And I got some pretty cool designs. The designs are really going to pay homage to a lot of stuff that I like, particularly gaming and other shows. But I think a lot of people figured out what this shirt came from, so they can figure it out.
Yeah, we'll put it up on the screen right now if you can't figure this one out.
But they got a good response. A lot of people like that. I was like, oh, y'all wait till y'all see the next one, boy. Especially you. Especially you, Will, because I got some real good gaming comics for you.
Yes. I'm excited. All right, Mr. Black. Honestly, I wish you the best of luck. Although this past year has already been kind, I hope that the next is even kinder. I always love seeing my brothers make it, and I want to see more, and I have a feeling we will.
Hopefully we will. You know what I mean? I'm going to keep pressing forward. And hopefully we get some things done. You know what I mean? Some things some goals and aspirations I have for 2021. Let's see if we can get those things done. You know what I mean? And in the meantime, the hell with PlayStation. Xbox and Nintendo for me. I know that's going to give me a lot of heat right
there. Thank you so much. I loved that conversation. Baron Black has always just come off like somebody that I just vibe with, and I'm so grateful we were able to do this episode, and I just know in my heart of hearts that he is somebody we're going to see on our screens a whole lot more in the future. Leave me a comment down below. Let me know who you'd like to see me talk with next, or what other matches you'd like to see on Wrestling with My Friends, or just what other content you'd like to see here on Wrestling with Will. Thank you to everyone who took the time to watch this one. Thank you to my guest, Baron Black, and thank you for subscribing. I'll see you next time. Peace.